Hey, Lord of the Rings fans, it's your boy, New Better, Do Better, and I am back with another episode of Voices of Arda. Now, of course, along with me, I got the one, the only, KaliCosplay, my co-host, my
Hi,
wonderful
everybody.
partner in this thing. What's up, what's up, what's up, Callie? So
Doing very well.
that's awesome to hear, man. I'm excited. I can't even let you finish your statement because I'm
I
really
know
excited.
you're so excited for our
Excited. I'm
guest.
excited. Our guest is he's an important person. He's that guy. You know
You
what I'm
stop
saying?
that right now.
He's a mover and shaker of these things in this Lord of the Rings community. Um, this is someone who actually gave me my first shout out on TikTok, got me hella viewership. So I'm forever indebted to him. Genuinely a nice, wonderful person, wonderful human being. The one, the only, Callie, who we got as our guest.
Needs no introduction, really, but we have with us today the obscure Lord of the Rings facts guy, Don Marshall.
Hi.
We were
Oh
so
my
excited we
God.
What's
couldn't
up,
get through
Don?
our own introduction.
I was like, I'm about to lose my shit right now.
Oh man, that's very kind of you both. I don't know if there's a video portion of this podcast right now, but my face has gone beet red for those of you listening on the audio only portion. My goodness, that's very kind of you to say. That is easily the nicest introduction I've ever gotten. Thank you both. Happy to be here.
Man, we're happy to have you, man, and you deserve it, man. For everybody out there, man, I'm not standing out. Me and Don are actually really cool. Really, we communicate back and forth. We've met several times. We've done things together. We're really cool. But he is who he says he is in real life, and those are one of the things I appreciate about him the most. So he's the real deal, and I'm like I said, I'm forever indebted. He really, he saw something. He said, "Hey, man, I like your content. I like what you got going on." And that really propelled me as far as what I got going on with TikTok. He brought me a lot more viewership and stuff like that. And it's not only about that; it's about the community that we've built. Like it was me, Don, and if I'm not mistaken, Chris, like the first few people I've interacted with on TikTok. And then
Yeah.
Callie came along. Now me and Callie, we have this podcast, and it's just really inspiring to see all the stuff that you've done and all how you've grown in this community. So like being one of
Thank
the
you.
first people up here, to be with you and doing all this stuff it's an honor, it's a pleasure, man. So I'm excited to have you on.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's a pleasure to be here. And I gotta say, you're taking me back now because we've been doing this for what, like almost 2 years, if not more, for
Yeah,
some of
about two
us.
years. Yeah,
Yeah. And just
yeah.
thinking back to all of that, I think knew you were my first Lord of the Rings content creator that I had when I was doing my little Twitch show where I would just bring all of my mutuals on and
Yeah.
just talk about Lord of the Rings for a while. And I loved what you did originally. And I was like, oh my gosh, this guy knows more about the Silmarillion than I do. I gotta make sure that this guy and I are friends. Because like, and no joke, I don't know if I've ever told you this. I was like, I saw your first videos. And I'm like, oh my God, this guy is like a competitor. Because that was my mentality on TikTok. Like when I didn't know the whole Tolkien scene, when like it didn't really exist all that much way back when. And then Callie, I saw you were the first person I'd ever seen do Valar cosplay. And I just went, that's incredible. And I knew immediately I had to follow you because that was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. So we're really all coming full circle when I think back to it as like all of the early days of the TolkienTok community. And here we are.
Yes, man. Thank you, man. It's an honor,
Yeah.
man. Once again. So like where do we want to start, Callie? Like, where do we start with Don Marshall? Like, with the Don Marshall. Let me
Oh,
stop. Let me
don't
stop amping him
no.
up.
Don't put the in front of my name. It just gives it like my ego is just gonna swell so much,
Nah,
please.
it's all good, man. I'm joking. I'm joking.
No,
Don is
I
actually
appreciate
really
it.
cool, down to earth, we're all down to earth, man. You got to hype up your peoples. You know what I'm saying? So, like,
That's fair.
hype up Callie constantly because she deserves it. You deserve it for the things that you've done, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right
shout
on.
out to all my other mutuals out there because I want to make sure we give all of them the shine that they deserve. And if I miss anybody, forgive me. But people that are really special in the community, that really like are there with me constantly all the day, are people like Don, but especially like Belmont. Belmont is my guy.
Mm.
Callie is my literally my right hand. Like I could not do anything without Callie. Um,
Swole
Andy,
Hiram, German
Will Hiram,
Tolkien guy. There's
exactly.
so many. Yeah.
But want to shout out Critique Geek,
Oh, love
especially
Amber.
Lee, Silmarillion, awesome, Silmar Emily. These people, Fornost, Tim. Tim is literally
Tim is
an
awesome.
encyclopedia. He is encyclopedia. He puts us all to shame. He's that guy. If I'm missing anybody, please forgive me.
You gotta shout out Andy.
Shout out
I
Jeff.
always gotta shout
Oh
out my
yes, of
girl
course.
Andy.
I shouted out Andy. Shout out to Andy and her podcast. Amazing. Just like an archetype for everybody to follow. Shout out to Jeff the Troll. Jeff the Troll is my dude. Listen, I don't know.
Oh my
He keeps
God.
the community safe, bro. Like it can get toxic at times, and
Mhm.
he's there just blocking shit, just making sure
Yeah.
it's a safe space. And he's funny, and he'll crack you up. You don't know when he's serious, but you know when somebody's coming for you, he's got your back, man. He's a mod on. He's become like a mod on all of our podcasts. I talk to him in Belmont like literally every day, and we play games together and stuff. So it's really become a community, and it's something where starting off with talking with you and Chris all the time, and we would do lives and everything. And Callie came into the fold, and me and Callie grew together, and Callie really put a structure for everything to be like an outlet. Like, hey, do you have a Discord? Yeah, but I don't know how to work Discord.
Dude,
And
me
just put
neither.
it together.
Me neither. I had no idea how Discord works. And then someone came along and was like, I'll run this for you. I'm like, what? Where it's like, yeah, it's so wild to me because there are so many times like when I consider myself like so up to date on like technology and like all of the stuff that because I'm a millennial, but I try and keep up with Gen Z as much as I possibly can. And then some things will come out of left field and I'll just be like, I had no idea that was even possible. And then they show me and it's like, oh my God, this is incredible. This is like what a great way to build communities. And Discord's been great for that. And TikTok's been great for that.
Absolutely. Like these platforms, like they're trying to shut down these platforms, and it's like, man, you don't know what it's done for people's lives.
No.
Giving me an outlet. Callie, man, Callie's story is so amazing. We'll have to tell it one day. But really,
yeah, you need your own episode, Callie. When's your featured episode?
Your episode is going to be epic. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait to do our episode, which we'll get into another time. But me and Callie have an episode. It's going to be so dope. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, all right.
So Don, you've said several times, how you started off in TikTok, but something that we usually do, maybe for new viewers or somebody who doesn't know, is when in the beginning we say, where can we find you? So where can we find you on all of your socials?
Sure. Well, thankfully, I don't know how this happened, but I managed to get the screen name Don Marshall 72 across pretty much every platform that's relevant these days. So I am mainly on TikTok at Don Marshall 72, the number 7 and 2. I am also on YouTube and Instagram and Twitch. Those are like my 3 other side platforms that I do. I have my TTRPG where they take the Eagles to Mordor in like a Middle Earth alternate universe. That's on YouTube. Twitch is just basically anytime Lord of the Rings news breaks and I want to freak out about it with like the Discord people. That's basically where I go. It's mostly chaos. So like if you're looking for like raw, unfiltered Don Marshall, like I don't know if you edit this podcast to like edit out the ums and the ahs and the freakouts and the forgetfulness that I have. But like this podcast is unedited, it's going to be a really great indication of like what my Twitch channel is like. And then Instagram is just where I go in case TikTok does get banned. So it's like basically where I post all of the things from last year. Other than that, I haven't used Twitter since the space jerk took over. And I'm also on Patreon, but I'm focusing a little bit less on that because I'm trying to not nickel and dime everybody. And new Callie, I don't know if you all have sort of ventured into this part of like the content creation, but like it's expensive to do the stuff you want to do. And I feel bad asking for money. I'd rather have the platform pay me than ask viewers to pay me because, multi-billion-dollar companies. It's crazy.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I know what that means. It's like, I had to get a new camera, which is this is the first time I'm actually using my camera that I got instead of my phone. I usually use my phone to do the
Oh, okay.
podcast. And you know what I'm saying, the video quality isn't quite up to snuff. So I'm sure Callie's like, oh, no better. You look a lot
You
better.
look very sharp tonight.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So this is actually the first episode where I'm using it because it was a lot. I had to get a tripod, I had to get this, I had to get that. So all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? I like I always tell people, I'm from the hood. Like I'm used to doing like outspoken things and things like that, but like setting it up to a standard, that you're supposed to have. This is the first time I'm really venturing there. So, these are all things that you guys inspire me to do because you are very professional when you do your Twitch streams and you're doing this and you're doing that. I also have a Patreon. So I got to put content on it. So now that I have the quality that I want, I gotta encourage people, hey, go. Because now I'm going to do long form videos with real content. You know what I'm saying? So
Nice.
now I'm going to feel better about saying, hey, join my Patreon when I'm actually putting content to it.
There you go. There you go. I got to say though, that is, I think that is one of the things that some people forget about me. Cause like you're complimenting me like, oh my God, it's so professional. My first ever Twitch stream was on a MacBook Pro from 2013. It was awful. Like, I think I ran something like 15 frames a second at like 1,000 megabytes or megabits. And it was so bad. The audio quality was awful, but people were asking for it. And then I look back on stuff like that when it was, all those years ago before I was able to upgrade to stuff like this. And it was like really, it's almost kind of inspiring to myself. Like, I don't want to pat myself on the back too much, but like, do you guys know that speech that Snoop Dogg gave when he was at his Hollywood Walk of Fame star? Have you guys ever seen that?
I don't remember exactly what he said, but I know what you're talking about.
I saw it very recently pop up on my For You page, and it was something along the lines of, he was thanking all these people, Dr. Dre. Yeah, and then he thanks himself.
Yeah.
Like, it was one of those moments, like, that's like an amazing amount of self-confidence to have. And like, I'm so grateful that I can kind of like look back on, not that I'm comparing myself to Snoop Dogg by any means, but like same mentality of like, I'm really proud of how far I've come. I'm so proud of like all of the Tolkien community as a whole, and like looking back on my old stuff, how I used to do stuff, looking back on like how we used to handle ourselves 2 years ago as a Tolkien community versus where we are now. And like, with Rings of Power and the Magic the Gathering stuff and like all of these things that have come up, I'm so happy with the way that the community has sort of like come full circle to like expect better of us. Sorry, that's a really long-winded way of saying I'm really proud of how far we've come.
Yeah.
And you should be though. I mean, and it's like you said, it's about more than just you. It's about how everything has grown and how you've been able to lead that, and you should be very proud of that.
Okay, so thank you again. I try and keep a humble head. So when you say like I'm leading it, I'm grateful for that, but I want to make it very clear. I am only as confident as the people around me. So I just huge shout out to, everybody we gave a shout out to in the beginning, in the Tolkien community. Cause like, it's one thing to have me shouting into the void on TikTok, like, this is important, listen to me, versus like a group of people who can amplify a message and comment and repost and duet and stitch and all of that stuff to like come together for a common cause. So it's nice to have that community.
Yes, it is. So now I know Callie is always prepared. So she has some very important questions and I know she wants to get into. So Callie, take us away.
I'm ready.
The first question is the most important, and thank you for giving me that opening, KnewBetta. You almost never give me that opening, and now I'm gonna take advantage of it.
I had forgotten about this. I don't know
So,
how
gentlemen,
it slips my mind every time.
Why do we tell actors to break a leg?
Oh my.
So they can get cast.
It's a joke.
So they can get cast. Something like that. So they can get a cast or some shit.
That's
like that.
right, because every movie has a cast.
Bomb! Y'all saw that? Yeah, I got the question right. Yeah. Y'all saw that. That's genius level intellect right there. That's the only joke I like. The second one. It's like the second, third one I liked.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
This is amazing. This is
That's
honestly,
my-
I've been here for like 15 minutes and we've already descended into the chaos that I love. This is fantastic. I'm like, Callie, I'm like mentally preparing myself for like, all right, Tolkien related questions, community based. How can I do it? And I'm like, it's a dad joke. It's fantastic. It's
She's got $1 million.
So, hey, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
But I think
All right,
what we're really here to talk about is one of your newest projects, I think.
Yeah.
And it's
Yes.
it's pretty big.
It is.
Why don't you go ahead and introduce it?
Yeah, I will. So I will say it is newest in the sense that it is the one I have released most recently. I've actually been holding on to this for about 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and this is just sort of the ridiculousness of my mind. I don't know if anybody else has had this. When there's nobody around to tell you, hey, maybe this is a bad idea, I usually just tend to run with it to its most extreme endpoint. So my newest project is What About Second Extended Edition, in which I ask all of the Tolkien community to give me money so that I can give them merchandise with a very silly logo on it. And in addition, I will use some of that money to purchase ads to try and get the attention of people at Warner Brothers, so that Warner Brothers will see that we are interested in having all of the extra stuff that Peter Jackson cut from the extended editions of the Lord of the Rings movies into what I am now dubbing the second extended edition.
Yes, man. So that would be a huge undertaking, and kudos to you for even trying to get something like that done, man. Because
if not me, who? Like, it's it feels kind of silly, but like no one's no one's dumb enough to try it right now. Don't get me wrong, people have tried, right? Like you and I have had the pleasure of meeting Matt from Nerd of the Rings. He tried a couple of years ago with something called the Mithril cut with like a petition. There have been people trying to say, release the Jackson cut with Twitter trending hashtags. And I've sort of taken inspiration from that, but like seeing where they failed, no one said, no, don't try it, it's not worth it. I'm just like, what if we just did it a different way? And in mine just involves money instead of a change.org petition.
Hey, man, you know what? If anybody can get it done, man, it's you, man. I believe in you, man. I wouldn't. I wouldn't know where to begin with something like that, but saying like I've seen you do several cool things. You know what I'm saying? So you've like gotten you got the thing with what's the book reading thing, and you end up on there with freaking Sam.
Yeah, so with Sean Astin, I was part of a Zoom. Wow, now this is just going to be like, are you just taking me through my greatest hits leading up to this?
Hey man, it's important to see.
This
so
is the Don Marshall episode.
We're going to talk about second breakfast, right? We're going to say, hey, what about second? Not second breakfast.
Second extended edition.
Extended edition, right? What have you accomplished already to make this actually feasible? Like this is actually a feasible thing, because look what we've got. We've gotten time with Sean Astin.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're reading with him and doing trivia with Sean Astin.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. So we I was working with a company called Fable, who saw a random Twitch series that I was doing, where we called it Silmarillion Sunday. And every Sunday for about 6 or 7 months, I would read a chapter of the Silmarillion, and I would stop every half hour and kind of explain all of the confusing parts. And then, we'd take the episode and we'd put it on, Spotify or a podcast or wherever. I think it's still up. So I think it's still on like Spotify and Patreon. It's called Reading and Explaining the Silmarillion. And actually, it's funny that you bring that up, because last week I just realized we crossed 100,000 plays over the life of the podcast over the last 2 years. So like if I'm doing the math right, we've had about 5,000-ish people listen to it all the way through, because it's about 20-ish episodes. And people fall off as they do, or they don't understand the Silmarillion, or like the Silmarillion's not for them. But one of the people that was listening to it worked for this company Fable, and they're like, hey, we would love for you to sort of like promote our book club, because this is a way to like, it's like an online service. And they're like, yeah, we're doing a meetup because Sean Astin has one of these things come out, and he does his own book club, and we'd love for you to meet him. And that's where I met Matt from Nerd of the Rings, and where I met Sean Astin. And that was my first time being like, realizing that this social media thing could potentially lead to access, or delving deeper into the Tolkien community than like our little section of TikTok that we sort of created for ourselves. And that was a really wild experience.
These experiences are so like surreal. Actually getting to travel with Amazon and traveling to England, and that was a trip I was fortunate enough to be able to go on with Don Marshall. I met Don Marshall in England.
Yeah, that was where we
and
met.
It was really cool, man. It's surreal. Like, and we got to literally go where Tolkien, he went to school, where he taught at, where his first book was published. It was just a journey. We went punting. We went punting. English punting, not American football punting, but English punting on a river.
Yeah, it's like one of those we were all
getting sauced up a little bit.
I mean, listen, when you're sitting on one of those canal boats, and you're basically in the middle of the English countryside, and you feel like you're kind of in Venice on one of those boats in the canals, you tend to enjoy yourself a little bit. I'm like, ooh, this is nice. I could get used to this. Haven't been punting since. Don't ever plan on doing it again unless I'm in, maybe season 2 of Rings of Power, but that's years away at this point, or whenever. When will this episode come out? Because there's a chance that maybe.
Usually the episode comes out today, but it's going to have to come out tomorrow, and I'll tell Callie why later. But cool. So tomorrow it'll be out. Right. Yeah. So these things, these literally the content, and from the creator, from the Lord of the Rings stuff that we love so much, the author, from the books, all of those things that we love so much, and then we end up creating the content, and we people actually love it. It allows us to do these fantastic things. It allows us to connect with each other and do these things. And now Don can do something like second extended edition. You know what I'm saying? So like, we're all excited for it. We really would love to see it. Can you tell us some of the most sought after scenes that you want to see that were cut from the film?
Oh my God, how long you got? I could spend a couple of hours talking about this. So I think what a lot of people, they watch The Lord of the Rings the first time. Maybe it's the theatrical cut. They're like, wow, this is good. These movies are long. The extended edition come out, and like Return of the King's like something like 4 hours long with the credits. And that's a lot to sit through. I get that it's not for everybody, but there's definitely a certain subgroup of nerds that will sit through like the 6-hour version. And so the first thing that I became aware of that I knew that they cut was when we were watching, when a group of my friends and I were watching just the behind the scenes stuff. We got together, and for whatever reason, we're like, let's just put the appendices on in the background of the extended edition while we were all just hanging out. I think we were at like a con or a Renaissance festival or something. It was a couple of years ago. And I hear Peter Jackson in the background go, I'm going to do a terrible Kiwi accent. I apologize, but it's something along the lines of, we actually shot this scene where it's a Aragorn Arwen flashback, and I'm dipping into Ringo Starr now. I apologize. It's like Viggo shaved, he's clean shaven, and we see them frolicking through the woods, and then Fran Walsh comes in and goes, yeah, it's the first time that Aragorn's seen Arwen, and Peter Jackson says something to the effect of, yeah, maybe we put that. So we wound up cutting that scene, but maybe we put that in like the 50th anniversary edition. And in my brain, I'm like, excuse me, you cut things out of the second there were full-on scenes. I was outraged. And I don't know why it didn't sit well with me in that moment, but something felt very off. Like, no, that's not fair. Because when I want to watch The Lord of the Rings, I want to see, it's been 25 years. It's been 20 years. The extended editions are firmly cemented in my brain. All of the extra stuff can just be, a little bit extra. So the Aragorn Arwen flashback was just like that first little bit of extra. And so I went back. Oh God, you know what? It's weird that I remember these specific dates. It was 6 years ago, Valentine's Day weekend, and I remember this because I was putting together furniture for my wife and I, who was my girlfriend at the time. We were moving in together, and all of the stuff from IKEA had just come that day. And so she was at work, and so I had like 6 hours because I didn't start my new job until the next week, and so I had like 6 or 7 hours until she came home to just put together our new couch, our new bed frame, our new dresser. And so I put it on and I learned about all of these extra shots that didn't make it in. Like there's a scene where Legolas and Arwen interact, and it's just something very brief. And there's, sorry, I'm rambling, but like there's so many. There's more scenes in Rivendell. There's scenes where the hobbits and Arwen interact. And that still stuck with me through all these times. And the thing that really kicked off all of the second extended edition thought was the day Miranda Otto posted a photo on Instagram that was a picture of her and David Wellham, who plays Faramir, in costumes that had never been released before. Mm-hmm. And we go on to later find out that it's the filmed but not released Eowyn Faramir wedding scene.
Yes. Faramir becomes the Prince of Ithilien, and
exactly.
Yeah.
Right. And so he marries Eowyn, and it's we don't see that in the books, but it's such a good idea by Peter Jackson to extrapolate from what Tolkien wrote that, like, of course I want to see that. That's two of my all-time favorite characters in fiction, let alone in this series. And that was what really got me started on all of this, because I went, there's so much that we missed. And so I, at the time I was working with my merch people, Teespring, and I'm like, hey, I have this really crazy idea. Can I get some artwork done? Can you make this? Like, is this even possible? And at the time I had it was something really crazy, like 50,000 followers. And I'm like, this will work. I can get these 50,000. And in the back of my mind, I went, you're not there yet. You're not there yet. And so here we are 2 years later, me on your podcast talking about it.
Well, how many followers do you have now? Because I know you were at 500,000 at some point. You still around there?
I just broke 650 a couple days ago.
Sheesh, man.
Thank you.
You know, everybody, I'm at like 120 something. So, you know, that's quite a feat in itself. No, but that's awesome, man. That is like really inspiring, man. And you taking these ideas and actually doing something with them is it's dope, man. It's dope.
Well, again, nobody's told me, hey, maybe that's not such a good idea, or that's never going to work. No one's really been there to be like, stop. And because of that, I just haven't really stopped.
Just go on.
Yeah, I just kind of keep going.
Like the Joker said, you just do things.
Yeah. I'm like that dog chasing a car. Like think about it like this. In that scene, I'm like a dog chasing a car. I wouldn't know what to do if I caught it. If they do release a second extended edition, I'm gonna have no idea how to react. Like, am I responsible for it? Have they actually been planning this since they started? And people are just going to think I'm some sort of industry plant to drum up hype. That was my biggest worry. I'm on a tangent right now, but New, you and I,
we already know you're shilling.
Listen. Hey, you're right there with me, my man. We've all seen the YouTube videos, man, and I won't go in too much to that, but it occurred to me that that side of the fandom is probably thinking that Warner Brothers has hired me to plant the seeds 3 years before they release the 25th anniversary edition or something. And I'm just like, oh God, because that's my catastrophic side of my brain that goes to worst case scenario. And so here I am just trying to get as much press coverage as humanly possible and just talk about it anywhere I can. And this is all basically my way of saying thank you so much for having me. I promise I'm not shilling.
Man, no doubt, man. We appreciate your efforts, man, and we cannot wait to see if this thing gets done. And you will be we'll be waiting. We'll be waiting. I
Thank
know I'll
you.
be waiting anxiously. So, so I know you just spoke about some of the things that were, being said actually with the Rings of Power coming out, and we were being called chills and this, that, and the third because we were able to go, maybe see some clips of things, and they're preparing. But a lot of people don't know that's how social media marketing works nowadays.
Oh
That's
yeah.
just what they do. They do that with everything now. Like, so if they
Yeah.
see content creators out there and they have a good following, they say, hey, this is the new way to advertise now.
Yeah.
Let's bring in these people who they do their due diligence. They're like, oh, these people are somewhat of experts, and I don't mean to call myself an expert, but this
Oh
is
no, you are. You are.
something
I'll quote you on that one. You heard it right here. KnewBettaDoBetta. Tolkien expert. I got you.
and they say, hey, let's bring them in and see what they think. And what's really cool, and people, they don't believe us, but this is the first space we really got to talk about it like on a platform. So that's
Mhm.
why I kind of interjected this into the
Yeah,
conversation.
no.
It's
Let's
important. It's
absolutely.
important.
It is. And it's one of those things that, like, I mean, Callie, correct me if I'm wrong. You were at the New York, premiere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you saw sort of like how they were doing things in New York with the whole, like, getting the fans involved with the promotional stuff, which I really appreciate, because I think to a certain level, like, I don't know if either of you follow any of these folks, but like, I look at what HBO is doing with something like Tropical Joe or Straw Hat Goofy, or like Netflix where they're doing The Sandman, or any of the
Yeah.
other shows like that. They get the community involved, and like, maybe it's not a show for everybody, but it's really encouraging to know that, and not just Rings of Power, right? It's really encouraging to know that at the very least, the major corporations that are creating these millions and billions of dollar shows are acknowledging that there is a fan base out there, and to involve folks. And I'm lucky enough to have been involved in several things, as has you knew. And I don't know, that's such a different way of doing marketing that I think, like, probably first got started on like Vine, or like the early to mid YouTube days, where like people were getting invited to premieres, but they weren't part of like the New York Times or these entertainment weeklies, or like these like well-established uh uh like media outlets. Because at the end of the day, I'm just a guy with a phone. I still work a 9 to 5 job every day on top of
Every day.
doing all of this. And like,
Absolutely.
and it's so
And
wild to think about, like, the transition that's happened in entertainment industry.
it probably throws people. It probably throws them for a loop. First,
Yeah.
these people must be getting paid. None of us get paid for this. We get,
Mm-mm.
and none of us get the thing that really it bothers me sometimes. And this is something I've learned to deal with, because people are going to have their opinions.
Mhm.
But it used to really get to me when somebody said, "Oh, you're a shill. You're just saying this because they paid you." Or of course, if you got this trip, of course you're going to say that you like this.
Mhm.
Let me tell you something. And this is something that I really liked about, whether it's Amazon or whoever invited me wherever. Nobody has asked me to advocate for their show or say I like it because they invited me somewhere. They say,
Mhm.
"Hey, what do you think about this?" If I don't like something, I tell them, and they're like, "That's thank you so much, because we look at your following, your content, and we like, we it's important to us to get genuine feedback."
Yeah.
So just because they invite me to a premiere, it does not mean that I'm going to just, sing and dance for anybody. If
Mhm.
I like something I see, I say it. If I don't like something I see, I say it. But
Mhm.
I think the difference is the delivery, and people don't
Mm.
expect, because there's a lot of people just are like, controversy sells, hate sells,
Oh
like hate
yeah.
speech sells. So people have these YouTube channels, and they go in there like, this is an outrage, and it gets tons of views because people like seeing that. But
Mhm.
they can't imagine or fathom in their brain that I can think something is pretty good, and then the parts I don't like, I can still speak about it in an intelligent and non super negative way to where it's like, yeah, I didn't love that part. I wish they would have changed that instead of saying this is wrong, like, and it throws them and they're like they got to be getting paid. No, it's just a way you do things. You know, it's different from, you know, I don't believe in super negativity. I definitely, you know, when I don't like something, I speak my mind, and you know what I'm saying, and that's it. And
oh, I know.
I've
Heard you. I've heard you speak your mind before. It is, Kali, I don't know if you've had the pleasure of seeing New go off anytime he feels real passionate about something.
Very much, yes.
It's a pleasure. It's a joy. It's also a little scary,
scary.
just a tiny.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah.
No, because you're so passionate about everything, and like I love it. Obviously, not actually scary, but like,
well, I'm a little guy.
Hey, height notwithstanding, I think there absolutely is something to be said about like the passion that you feel, that I feel, and like Kali, you, Belmont, Fornost, Wizardway, Chris, Tengwar Teacher, all of these people that, you know, I'm dropping names of Tolkien content creators, but like it is such a pleasure to be a part of a community that doesn't lend itself to that sort of like clickbaity, rage bait, anger, outrage kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like it's not necessary. I don't need to do that. So it's important, especially when with you on here. You know, like I feel like that needs to be said. Like we usually will just be like, hey, we don't got to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? We'll talk about it on our live or something real quick and get it out. But you know, this is something that, you know, it's probably gonna happen again. Season 2 of the Ring of Power is coming out. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you watch any of our videos, we say, hey, we like this. We saw a preview, we love this. This episode, I hated this episode, didn't like it. I don't know what they're doing there. But hey, overall, this is what I thought. You know what I'm saying? Like, so just miss me with the bullshit, basically, is what I'm saying. Like, I'm a regular guy. I go to work every day. I take care of my kids. You know what I'm saying? I do what I'm supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm very kind, but I'm from New York and I don't back down. I'm not soft. You know what I'm saying? I'm really like that in real life. So this internet stuff is cool and everything is great and everything like that. But treat people how you want to be treated, and you don't have to, you know, rage farm. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that.
You don't have to. And the issue is, and Kali, I don't know if you're in any other I know you're in that fandom right along there with me, but Kali, I don't know if you're in any other fandoms that have dealt with this. You get a lot of money from being angry all the time as a social media personality.
Yeah.
That's very frustrating.
They're actually the ones shilling, which is crazy.
Yeah,
it's funny because they're blaming you for shilling when they're the ones shilling, and then they have the general audience believing that you're shilling. It's really actually weird. Like,
and I have this thought that I have constantly been, you know, trying to remind myself of. Things are the way they are usually because someone's making a lot of money from it. So like the reason there's all this outrage and scandal is, you know, that's the way the algorithm is built. The day the algorithm changes to where second extended edition can get 1 million views because it's something positive instead of, you know, this just outrage. Like, I can't tell you the number of times I've like contemplated, you know, in my weaker moments, giving into like the sort of negativity, like, I got a bone to pick with Peter Jackson. He wronged all of us, like making it negativity towards Peter Jackson or being angry at Warner Brothers. And like, I'm so hopeful that one day the algorithm will change. It probably won't be anytime soon, but it's always, you know, it's always a fine line to walk.
It's you know, we hope for the best, man. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, but I'm glad we got you know, we got to speak about it. You know, it's just sometimes, you know, you just got to get things off your chest. So, you know, Kali, I know you have more questions, so I'm gonna digress. I'm gonna step back and let you ask these questions because, you know, we've been talking over top of you for 1,000 years now.
No, it's great just to hear you guys chat and you know, compare your experiences. And I'm very, very new to all the space, so I'm still in my like learning phase. So it's really fun to listen to your experiences so that I can try to learn from them. And I know for myself anyway, as far as like positive and negative content, I just don't feel comfortable. Like it's just not my personality to do the negative stuff. And I can't, and I honestly don't have the energy to deal with any of the blowback from it. So
It's
I
exhausting.
run
It's
everything
exhausting.
It is
positive, and
exhausting.
if the people like it, then that's great. Because those are the people that you want watching your stuff anyway, is what I
Yeah.
tell myself.
Mhm.
And you're
Oh
never going to
yeah.
change everybody's opinion or thought process. That's the toughest thing, like to realize. You're like, it's like no matter how much explaining you do, like I just did that whole spiel. Maybe a few people be like, oh, okay, I didn't know that. Most of the majority of people are gonna be like, chill, throwing rocks. Ah, it is what it is, man. But still needed to be said.
Oh, speaking of a reset, Callie, you have questions. Just trying to
Um
segue into our next. Did I do okay?
that was great. That was wonderful. That was
Thank you.
smooth,
Trying.
flawless, absolutely. No notes.
I do my best.
Don, what else are you working on these days?
Oh gosh. So my main sort of project, obviously second extended edition is like my main project right now. I'm gonna be ending it probably in the next few weeks or so. Just if I don't get a lot of traction. Just full disclosure, I do not want this to be the Snyder cut. Because that went on for too long and a lot of people were bullied, and I don't want Peter Jackson to hate us at the end of all of this. So I'm working on I'm giving myself a time frame, and I'm giving myself like that first month, depending on the traction we get there. But after that, as is tradition, Wizard Way Chris and I are working on some Pride Month merchandise. You know what, I can give you all a little bit of an exclusive here to some upcoming
Ooh.
You
projects.
heard it first. You heard it first.
Ooh.
All right,
Don
so
Marshall with the exclusive on Voices of Arda.
given everything that is going on in the trans community right now, our Pride Month merchandise is going to be trans themed this year, and a lot of our funding is we've worked with the Trevor Project previously, and then we're going to be helping some trans organizations. We're vetting a few right now just to make sure that we're all sort of on the right track. But yeah, we are having some trans themed merch that everyone can wear, because we've gotten some feedback in the past. It's like, well, hi, I'm a straight white man, can I wear this like I the first year we released merchandise, I just had merch that said I am no man, immediately isolating like 50% of my audience. It's like, I didn't really think that through, but you know what, we came back the second year. And now this third year is just going to be something I think we can all rally around, given everything that's going on in the trans community. So yeah, we will be coming out with that in June. What else? What else is there?
There's always some more. There's always more.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Like, again, like I said, no one's told me no yet, so I just kind of keep coming up with random ideas. And if it works, good for me. And if it doesn't work, you almost never hear about them because I bury them in the ground, never to be seen again. But the Unpredicted Party is the sort of Middle Earth TTRPG that I'm working on. If you've ever asked, let me ask you this: how many times have you been asked the question, why didn't they take the Eagles to Mordor?
I literally don't answer that question anymore. I don't answer, have you played Shadows of War and Shadows of Mordor? Like I get physically, like visibly frustrated, and I'm like, I know that I probably don't know you, but so many people have asked me, so I'm right there with you, brother.
Yeah. Okay, so I took it to another extreme, whereas you don't answer that question anymore. I wrote what is basically a 100 or 200 page fan fiction that turned into a TTRPG about the ramifications of what would have happened if they did take the Eagles to Mordor. Spoiler alert, I kill the Fellowship in the first episode. They all die. That's not really a spoiler. That's just like what's happening. We are
That's what's going on.
as people are listening to this, as we record this, it's currently, oh my god, it's April 5th. Did you guys know? I forgot.
Yeah, we're
Ah,
April now.
That's
Yeah.
I don't know.
It
That's
rolls up on you, man. It sneaks up
oh
on
my
you.
God. Oh my goodness. I
Time is
forgot
just flying.
what month it was. Anyway, we are in as we record this on April 5th, we are in the midst of sort of approaching the end of this grand old adventure that we have started. We've sort of hit the we haven't quite hit the runway, but we're certainly coming in for a landing as things tend to wrap up. So if you're curious as to why they didn't take the Eagles to Mordor, Unpredicted Party is another good one. If you want to catch up, it's on Spotify and all of the podcast places. And there's a video portion on YouTube. We have a live chat, which is honestly, live chat's a little bit smarter than my players sometimes, and I'll fully admit that because they figure out all of the hints that I've been dropping way earlier than my players. Which is fun, you know, it's fun to be able to rub it in faces like, see, these smart people know. And chat's very smart. I appreciate all of the people that hang out in live chat.
I know there are
What
people
else?
who have like watched your episodes like 5 times and they like memorize everything. They know everything. They know every character and every item and every role and like every role fail. And like it's amazing. Like people are very into it.
It is kind of incredible to watch these people who have like, yeah, I'm on like my 3rd listen through, and they'll post about it in the Discord. And like, I'm on the Discord that talks about Unpredicted Party in that channel. I'm like, I'm sorry, you did what? I actually I have to give a shout out to a couple of people. There's someone named Monday who has made trading cards for the 3 main characters, and then there's someone else who made Magic the Gathering versions of the characters. His name is Apex, and then Apex also got a tattoo that my players got. It was 3 little dots on the hand, and it was so just a bit of backstory. The first time I saw someone get a tattoo of mine, someone got Yeet Isildur in Elvish tattooed on their leg, hashtag included.
Yeet Isildur.
Button, if you're listening to this, I know who you are. It has now though gotten to the point where like 6 or 7 people now have that. So like, okay, that's a lot. I'm kind of used to it by now. But like, here's just a random thing that I made with a couple of friends that gets, you know, a couple thousand views on YouTube and podcast. It's relatively small compared to, you know, the views on TikTok that I get or whatever, but it's a long form project. And like, oh yeah, I got a tattoo for it. I'm like, you what now?
Yeah,
You what
man.
now?
People who are invested,
Yeah.
and that's one of the greatest things about this community. Like
Yeah.
we have followers, like we have 1,000 followers, but there's a group of them that are so dedicated. They literally just are there. Like we have Fins Forged. Shout out to Fins Forged. Um, makes beautiful 3D printed things, and he's made Kali helmet. He's made
Oh, the
swords.
guy that made your helmet.
Yeah.
The guy that made I was talking to that guy. I was talking to that guy a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
He
man.
was because he had the dragon helm
Yeah,
too. He had the
man.
dragon helm of Dor Loman. I was like, hey, can I like can I commission you to do that? Dude's sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I
Yeah.
love that guy. He's amazing.
He's awesome, man. He's
Yeah.
awesome, and they're so dedicated, and they want to help, and they want to like add to. Hey, I don't cosplay, so he's like, what? Hey, listen, I know you don't cosplay, but I want to make you a helmet, man. What helmet do you want? And I'm like,
Yeah.
like they're so dedicated. They jump on, they hop on lives.
Yeah.
You know, it's things like that, man. Like it's T-Rex leather designs. He's like, yo, man, I love your content. Let me make you something. And I just, I'm just going to make you this because I'm a fan of you and I know you love Lord of the Rings. What design do you want? You know what I'm saying? Like, and it just helps. It's a circle of help with all of us. So, man, I can only imagine the tattoo thing, man. Like, I get it, man.
It's wild. It's wild. Wait, New, do you want to cosplay? Do you like?
I'm working on something. I'm working on something. I don't want to give it away.
Okay. You're not ready to give it away yet. Not even.
All right. I mean, do you want me to? I can give it
I
away.
know. Hey,
it could be exclusive.
In your own time, if you want to.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do.
I'm cool with it. I just say, I just kind of was waiting for like something, but you know what? It doesn't matter. Honestly, it doesn't matter because I'm going to cosplay, and I'm going to cosplay as Ecthelion from Gondolin. And Fins Force is making me the helmet. and he's actually got a picture of it on his profile pic in TikTok. And it's there's another version of it that's gonna come. And when this comes through, I'm fully cosplaying. It's happening. It's fully cosplaying, and you're gonna see a black elf. Ithelian is going down. Yeah.
I'm on Finn's Forge page right now. That's your helmet?
Yeah, and there's another variation of it too. He's working on with a higher crest, because he stabs Gothmog.
Yeah, with
the spike on his helmet,
yeah.
And they fall into the fountain. So some Lord of the Rings stuff there. Boom, boom, boom. See how we add that in there?
Oh my god, that's so exciting. That's so exciting.
I was like, oh, I want the dragon helmet dual Loman, but then I was like, wait, other people have the dragon helmet. What do other people not have? And I was like, Ithelion. I love Ithelion. I love him. That's one of my guys. He's a goon. He's with all the smoke. He is that guy. He's like probably the second best fighter of all the elves beat, in my personal opinion. Like he's that guy, He's with the smoke. So
dude, this is what I absolutely love about the Tolkien community, and specifically what you do for the Tolkien community. Because like all of the sort of English professorial side of Tolkien is like scholarly. And then one of my favorite videos two of my favorite videos that you ever made was code switching in the Lord of the Rings. That was one of the first videos I saw of yours. I thought that was brilliant. And then the other one was if members of the Fellowship were members of the Wu-Tang Clan. And like just things that would never have even crossed my mind that like could associate with the Lord of the Rings. Like you just bring that. And it's amazing to watch how the Tolkien community has like transformed into and within so many different communities. It's awesome to see.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like there's like this predetermined thought that, hey, you gotta be a full-on nerd if you like Lord of the Rings, and that's just not necessarily true. Like, of course, like we embracing nerddom, like it's awesome to be a nerd and everything like that. But if we were to take the traditional meaning of the word or thought process, especially, I was born in the 80s. That wasn't, I'm not that.
Yeah. Nerd was a bad thing in the 80s.
It was just a stigma. It wasn't bad. It was never bad, but it got looked at as bad. But you were always considered very smart, but you weren't socially like the coolest person, whatever that means or whatever the case, you know what I'm saying? Which turns out to be very wrong, and we're all thankful for it. But I wouldn't be considered a nerd. Never was, you know what I mean? But I was intellectually a nerd, I guess. Yeah. It was weird, like, but I was mad popular. I was always like, so it was like a clash of things of things. So you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not from somewhere where everybody's reading the Lord of the Rings or liking it. I wasn't part of that community. So this is something that it's new to me when I'm joining TikTok and meeting you guys, finding a place to where I can talk about this stuff, and then I bring my own personal likes. Like I'm very much a child of hip hop. I grew up a certain way, a certain culture. I'm African American, which seems to be like far and few in between. Like finding like a lot of Tolkien content creators who are African American. So like all of these different things, I make sure I'm doing it my way. Like, hey, I'm gonna talk about. I'm like, yo, when I say Ithelion is a goon, I really mean that in real life. I'm not gonna, I like to make it easy to digest for everyone. So when I make my videos most of the time, hey, I present it a certain way. But at the same time, this is how I really would like to say this. And so you understand, man, Sauron smack, he smacks son. He'll be, you know what I mean? Like that's how I talk traditionally with my friends. You know what I mean? I'm from New York. I very much have a different vernacular, talking comfortably. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, there's nothing wrong, you know what I'm saying, code switching, because you're in certain settings and that's just natural. Now, a lot of people look at it as negative, but it's not. It's not, because if you're talking to your mother, you code switch. You don't talk to her you in the street. You talking to her regular, yes ma'am, no ma'am. That's how you be respectful and whatever the case may have. But if I'm just talking to my regular friends, I'm gonna talk completely 100% slang. It's brick outside, boom, But when I'm talking on TikTok, everybody's not from New York. Everybody's not from the hood. Everybody's not whatever the case may have. Everybody doesn't speak the same way. Hey, let me just this general way of speaking. That's fun. But then what if what about my peoples that's with me, that know what I'm talking about, know my vibe, they know my body, as we say in New York. So boom, I make a video for that, and then those videos actually do exceptionally well, and people seem to be like, yo man, be like that. And I'm like, man, I'm really proud of that, and proud that people gravitate toward it. People like you appreciate it, and if I feel comfortable doing it, and it's awesome, man. It you know what I mean? Because you kind of put a stigma on yourself, like should I say that in slang? Like should I? People are going to look at me kind of funny. So it's really an honor to just not have that happen. I really no negative feedback from that. Maybe like stupid couple comments, which a couple people are going to say you sound like this, but overwhelming majority positive. So I thank you, and thank you for liking the videos, and thank you for reposting the videos and
Yeah. Oh, dude,
ditching them and
yeah.
stuff, man. That shit helps. It helps you, man, so much.
That's the thing that I've found to be like so prevalent in the Tolkien community is like we all want to help each other. Like we're New, you and I are we're part of a couple of group chats throughout the last couple of months, and like there's never been a moment where I've felt like, oh, they're trying to get an exclusive ahead of me. Like no, we're sending each other the information because I want you all to succeed, and I've always felt that feeling is reciprocated from anybody I've talked to in the Tolkien community. A few trolls notwithstanding, but like not within our circle of like the TikTok, and
Where would the world be without the trolls?
Well, I'd have a lot less mental health issues, but I digress. It's been really great just sort of seeing the sort of camaraderie from all of these communities. So like the queer community latching on to Tolkien, and the BIPOC community doing the same thing, especially with this new Magic the Gathering set that's coming out. Which I don't know, do either of you actually play Magic the Gathering? Or
I'm trying to fall way into it because I don't play Magic the Gathering, but I do play like Hearthstone and stuff, which is similar in
yeah, no,
certain
that's it.
sense.
Do you want like a 5-minute crash course in the middle of this pod? I'm happy to give it to you.
Let's
I've been
do
playing since. Okay, are you ready for this? Can I do this? I don't want to.
Yes.
All right,
Okay, cool.
let's do
So
it. Let's make it happen.
this is Magic the Gathering in a nutshell. There are 5 colors of magic. There's white, red, blue, green, and black. And each one of those are associated with like a type of magic. So like if you're thinking about it in D&D terms, blue is like your mind control, red is like your fire and brimstone, green is like your trees, white is like your holy paladins, birds, soldiers, and then black is like your zombies and your rats and demons and creatures
Okay,
and all
okay.
that. So basically it's a card game where you have cards and you summon really awesome creatures with that specific color of magic. Where it gets really cool is when you combine the colors of magic. So like, you know how Pokemon, you're like, I summon Charizard, go, right? Charizard's just like a big dragon with fire. But like Magic the Gathering, which I think came out before Pokemon, I'm going to be honest, I don't remember. Magic the Gathering basically said, all right, cool. So what if we took Charizard and we like combine him with a wizard, and that wizard and the fire dragon were working together in one card. So you combine the fire of red in Magic and the wizard of blue, and so you now have a blue-red combination deck. So basically you play cards as like the ultimate wizard, where you just like, I attack you for this many points, I can defend with this many points. But the game is, I think, almost 30 years old, if not already 30 years old. So like there are now hundreds of ways to play. So like with this new Lord of the Rings set that's coming out, they're probably going to have an entire deck that is based on Rohan. So every single one of your cards could be like, cool, I cast Eowyn, who stabs you in the face for 3 damage.
Yeah.
And that's basically, that's like the long and short of it in a very brief nutshell.
Yeah, I played those type of games where I get the structure. It's just, like the intricacies of it. I would have to just get down, but I definitely would do it. But what I won't do, and my coolness will not allow me to do this. No, I'm just saying, just joking. But I can't play the physical. I can't do that. Like they be trying to get me to play D&D, and I was like, I can't do it. Like I'll be trying. I'm like, but I can't like get over the hump of.
Do you know how to role play at all? Like, do you like?
It's like those certain things is where it's like that's not my style to do those type of things. Okay. It's not my thing, and I'm trying to get over that. And it's just those I just don't play those type of games in that way. Like I'll do it on a computer or something, but I can't sit there and be like I could never like Magic the Gathering. I know I used to go to places and I see like kids doing it. I can't do that. I can't do that. That I can't.
It's got to be like an online sort of.
It's got to be like an online, like I'm like, like that, like click mousing and doing all that. That's I can't real life. I can't find myself doing it. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
No. It's a style. It's a style.
Each their own. Everybody has their own thing that they're into. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I mean. It's just not me. But Kali is and them are really working to get me out of my comfort zone and to try these new things, and I'm definitely willing to give it a go. I try everything Kali. Once, she's like my muse, man. Kali I like look, man. If you listen to the podcast, it's 95% of the podcast is me complimenting Kali because she deserves everything.
Speaking of Kali, do you? I'm so sorry I don't know this already. Do you guys have merch? I'm just now noticing the shirt that you're wearing. Is that the Voices of Arda logo?
Oh, yes. This is us. This is me.
Oh my God, that's so cool. Oh my God. All right, well, I have a shirt I need to order. Oh my God. I didn't realize y'all had merch. Amazing. Yeah,
man. What we gotta really do is we gotta promote this podcast, man. Like, we
gotta
get it out there. I know TikTok will just smash you down if you try to say anything.
That's the thing. Yeah. If you try to do anything outside of TikTok or like come to this other platform, TikTok, the algorithm's just like, no, not today.
No, you stay here.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the goal of any platform, right? You don't like from a marketing or from like a creation perspective, you literally want every single person on your app at all times. That's Absolutely. Like the goal. It's like you're all obsessed with it. Now, obviously you need to sleep, but unfortunately the TikTok algorithm is such that like you don't get to leave to go anywhere else. YouTube stuff falls flat, podcast stuff falls flat. It's the nature of the beast.
Well, fortunately for us, I'm not scared to ask for a Don Marshall shout out, which will bring you far. So
hey man,
if you could plug us, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
You can find us, on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. You can find us across the diaspora of content, you know what I'm saying, like platforms. So please,
Here, you know what? Kali, do me a favor. Send me the raw footage of just this particular portion as a video clip, and I'll just do this, right? Hi, welcome to Obscure Lord of the Rings Facts. The reason that this video looks different is because I'm on a podcast with two of my friends. This is KnewBettaDoBetta, and this is KaliCosplay. Go follow their podcast. That's
Voices
it.
of Arda.
There you go. Well, no, that's the thing. If you say the title of anything else, if you mention what, like, these are the little secrets that they don't tell you. It's like, comment, share, interact. All of that stuff is just like the algorithm's like, no, you can't ask people for anything. You just have to barrel ahead. So feel free to like clip that, send me the clip. I'll just post it. It's like, because we're all in TikTok. Am I allowed to swear on this podcast?
Yeah, man.
Okay, cool. We're all in TikTok hell. If you're thinking about it like a metaphor, we are all in the pit from the Dark Knight Returns, where we're all just trying to climb out and do that. If you've ever seen the third Batman movie from Christopher Nolan, we're all just trying to climb out of that pit. There's no end to the pit. We're literally just trying to get as high as we possibly can to get closer to the daylight. And that's why I've been so grateful to, everybody in the Tolkien community, because it doesn't feel like a competition. We're all just trying to like Josh Groban said, you raise me up, and then, I'll do the same for you.
So Don, we've had, and probably last episode was the greatest example of this, was the greatest answer to these questions that I've ever had. So I'm asking you, and I want to see if you can top the last answer, because I was really stunned and floored. So I'm going to ask you 3 questions.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to ask you, and you can use anyone from the entire Tolkien legendarium, whether it's Silmarillion, Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, whatever, doesn't matter. If you could add somebody in the Lord of the Rings legendarium you wanted to marry, who would it be? Who would you marry?
Oh.
Who would you get to protect you? And who would you want to fight?
Oh. Marry, protect, and fight. This is a great question. Oh my God. Okay. Marry. Okay. So obviously my options are a little bit limited, because I'm a straight white man, but that comment was meant to be a commentary on Tolkien's lack of female characters. Nothing more than that. Please don't read any more into it, audience. You know, as much as I respect Baron, I love Luthien so much that I would be willing to try and get a Silmaril for her hand. As a
We try to bag Luthien.
I would, as yeah, and you know, as a married man whose wife is part of the Alphabet Mafia, I think she might agree with me. So it helps. So yes, I would go Luthien. I would marry Luthien.
Marry Luthien, which is, you know, it's expected.
Yeah. Have protect me. I'd probably have to go with the strongest. Picking Eru feels like a bit of a cop out, but that is, I'd probably pick God. So yeah, I think I'd go Eru. Well, actually, hang on, because now that I'm thinking about it, Eru doesn't really get involved all that much, does he?
Doesn't.
Okay.
Not
okay.
super benevolent.
No. So who gets involved? Now, when you say protect, am I like being attacked by a bear, or just like is my bodyguard at all times? Like,
you're liable to get attacked by anyone in the legendary.
Oh. Okay. And this person has to protect me, like a bodyguard.
You assigned them to protect you, and they're with old smoke, and they want to protect you. If you say, you know what, Sauron's coming for me, or this person's coming, Gothmog's coming for me, or you know what I'm saying, Saruman's coming for me. Who would you want to protect?
Okay. War crimes aside, I pick Morgoth. Straight up. I think Morgoth is strong enough because, you know, Manwë doesn't get involved. If I pick any of the elves, one arrow from 600 feet away is just going to end them immediately. Obviously, it's not any of the humans, because I imagine that's not going to work at all. Just look at what happened to Boromir. Yeah, I pick Morgoth. Okay. And then who would I want to fight? I know who I would want to fight. I'm enough of a narcissist that I might just want to see a rematch between Morgoth and oh my god, I'm the obscure Lord of the Rings facts guy and I forget his name. Who's the elf that begins with F who cuts it? Fingolfin. Oh my god. Sorry, yes, I can't believe I forgot that. I'm a bad Tolkien fan. I would love to see a rematch between Fingolfin and Morgoth. But no, who would I want to attack me? Probably the weakest person in the Legendarium. Again, this seems like a cop-out, but the fox that appears in the chapter of the Old Forest.
Oh,
again,
man.
it feels like a cop-out.
You may have beaten last episode's answer. Last episode's answer to who do I want to fight was Rosie Kine.
Oh.
What he directly said was, I reckon I could knock out.
I could knock her out. But now we're going for the fox. Like, this is legendary. This is legendary shit right here. This is why you need to be watching Voices of Arda, because we're asking the important questions. We asking the real, you know what I'm saying, brain busters right here. This guy's gonna knock out a fox. You understand what's happening, folks? Like, this is real life right now.
That's what he chose. Epic. That's what he said.
So we are battling with the answers here. Like, the most outrageous answer is becoming the most popular answer. Who's next? Like, who is next? Jimmy the Cricket? Like, what is happening?
Well, I mean,
He's got Morgoth on his side too, so they're just like facing off against this poor little fox.
Oh my goodness!
Okay,
man.
hang on. A quick caveat, just in case anybody listening is like, the fox doesn't count. It can't be an animal. I'm just gonna give you a quick secondary in case it needs to be like a bipedal.
Hey, your answer's fine with the fox, bro.
I'll take the fox,
but we'll take the secondary answer.
My secondary answer will be, and I forget her name because I've not been thinking straight since I forgot Fingolfin. Sorry, this is so stupid. I shouldn't be laughing. What's the name of that healer woman in Return of the King that reminds everybody that Athelas exists?
Yoreth.
Yes,
yeah,
yes. I could 100% see Morgoth taking her. She's maybe the weakest.
Sassy though, bro. Aragorn ain't really want to smoke with her. You sure that's who you want? She was sassy, like she really was like letting them know, like, listen, I know what I'm talking about. This is that really was sassy, man.
If we're talking about full on combat, sure. But if we're talking about like emotional smoke, I don't know if that's a thing. I apologize if I'm
emotional smoke is very much a thing.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
She's all the emotional smoke.
Maybe Eoreth actually does, and she brings it. I don't know. These are the important questions.
These are the important questions, and this is why you come to Voices of Arda, man.
Because so many podcasts are like, how did you get started with Tolkien? How did you? It's like, no, give me fights. Give me who would win in a fight. Give me the family friendly version of FMK of who would you rather have guard you, and we've gotten there. Sorry, I'm off on a tangent right now. I apologize.
Man, it's all good, man. So this is the part where we're winding down, and before we actually get out of here, Kali always comes through with the we're a very progressive podcast where personal health and mental health are very important to us. You know what I'm saying? This is a welcoming space, and this is a safe space for everyone. So you can talk about what you want to talk about, and you can just count on us to be here to not judge anybody or anything like that. And Kali comes with the self-care tips just to get you through the day, to help you out, to keep you at the best person you could be. And she has these amazing self-care tips. And that's where we leave off at. So, Kali, what are your self-care tips for this episode with Don Marshall as the guest? What are your self-care tips?
Well, today I was reading up on Psychology Central, and they say that watching movies can be beneficial for your mental health and can serve as more than just a hobby or a pastime. Movies provide several mental health benefits. They can boost your mood. They can help you relax. With a little caveat there, finding relaxation when you're watching a movie is sometimes, especially these days, easier than it sounds. You want to be able to focus on the movie, so remove distractions. Consider leaving your devices on Do Not Disturb, or even just in a whole other room, and being able to engage with the plot in a movie and follow it through without distractions makes for a very soothing experience. Movies can provide motivation. They can give you a break from whatever you're working on, give you that mental rest, and then you can come back without those feelings of burnout. Watching movies can improve your relationships. You bond when you're watching something with someone, but also you can renew that sense of connection when you talk about what you watched afterwards. Movies can reduce stress. A study found that laughter can reduce levels of hormones in the body, such as cortisol and epinephrine, which cause stress. If you're not in the mood to laugh, you could also watch something that makes you cry. Crying actually lowers cortisol levels in the blood. So sometimes, a good cry is just where it's at. And and last, movies inspire social and cultural reflection. So if you're trying to understand a current social issue or spark a conversation, watching movies and films and that kind of thing can help educate and enlighten you.
All right.
What
Thank
a
you so
great
much.
segment. Oh my God, this is great.
You
This
know,
is
we
so
got
cool. Oh
the
my God.
the one and only Cali cosplay. Like,
Well,
what do you
thank
think? What do you think we were coming into? What do you think we were stepping into? You know, we got
For
KnewBetta here, we
real.
got Cali here. Like,
Oh
you know what I'm
my
saying? We are
God.
in the arena of giants right now. You know what I'm saying?
Seriously. Oh my God.
But seriously, Don is like the tallest person in the face of the earth. Like,
Well, hang on.
I'm a little guy. I'm 5'3". And first time I met Don, I was like, "What the hell? What the?"
Do I have time for a quick story, because this
All
is
right,
very
tell
relevant?
a story, man.
Yes.
It's
Okay.
important, man.
So New, it's funny that you mentioned that, because your first words to me when the elevator opened, or no, that was Annex. Sorry, because it literally happened 5 minutes after each other.
Yeah.
We were both in London. You came around the corner and I was with Annex. And your first words to me ever in real life were, "Oh my God, he's so tall." And I was like, oh my God. Because 10 minutes before that, the elevator door opened and there's Annex Wilson and I'm meeting for the first time. And he looks up at me, and Annex is like 5'8", 5'10" or something. He's an average size guy. And he just looks
Yeah.
up at me and he goes, "Oh my God, you're so tall." Not like, "Hi, nice to meet you in person. It's so great." It's like, oh my God.
It's funny. And Don's not like Callie's boyfriend is what, 6'8" or something?
Yeah.
He's,
Yeah.
Is you really?
Yeah.
Aren't you? Wait, hang on. Aren't you like 4'11"?
Yeah.
yes. Like, when I saw Callie, I think I picked her up and spun her around. When I was like, "Oh my God, this little baby!" But you're very tall. You're like, these cameras or whatever it is, social media can make you look different heights and everything. And not that you looked short, but I wasn't expecting you to be that tall. So it just threw me. And it's a running joke now. And it's like, God is like the tallest guy ever. Like, he's not really even that tall. He's like, what are you, 6'1", 6?
I'm 6'1", but I'm typically 6'2" in shoes. But I also, I'll never forget this comment, because it's the only comment I've ever gotten that I will remember forever. And someone met me at Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con, and then like immediately commented on one of my videos 5 minutes later. It's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I just met you. You're so tall, but you give off 5'9" energy." I'm like, excuse what? What does that mean? Like, thank you? Or like, was that an insult? Or like,
Man, it's a backhanded compliment. Like,
I couldn't. I'm sure they meant well. I like to think the best in people, but it was one of
That
those
must
comments
be
that
a
went,
meme or something. There must be
maybe
something that
it just occurred to me. It's like, is there an energy to my height? Like, what's the issue here? But at the same time, it's kind of hard to have that disconnect, because like, I didn't know how tall you were, New, or you, Callie, until I saw you in person, because we're all behind these screens that, there's no good frame of reference other than, well, I mean, technically, I have the Aragorn sword behind me that's hanging just about at eye level. So that's the only good frame of reference if you see me on camera. But like, yeah, we're all just sort of on our phones all the time, and then we see each other in person. We're like, oh, look, a real person that has a real personality and a height. And there's
in our cases, it's real life hobbits. Like,
Yeah, I remember Lauren does cosplay. When she turned around, she looked at her level, because she's tall. She was like, but then she had to look all the way down, and she went, "Callie?"
Yeah, shout out to just a few quick shout outs to people I forgot to just big up. I want to big up Lauren does cosplay. She's awesome, absolute sweetheart, really funny in real life, amazing person. Also, Anna Maria.
Oh,
You are amazing.
a gem. A gem.
She is a vibe. She's a vibe. Every time I talked about her, I just say she's a vibe. You have to experience her in real life, and she is so smart and so well spoken and talented all around. She is a vibe. That is the word that describes her essence. She's just everything. And then we got Annex Wilson. Shout out to him. Shout out to Annex. I literally love your content, man. You're my boy. You just was on live with me earlier, man. I just can't say enough good things about him, and where his trajectory of how he's grown in this platform is amazing, man. So shout out to those people, and everyone else that I forgot to mention. You know what I'm saying? Barking. Shout out to all the people at Amazons that came through. You know what I'm saying?
Do you want to just go through my Do you want to just go through my mutuals, New? We can thank everybody all at once to see who I'm friends with.
Shout out to OneRing.net. Everyone over there.
Yes. Yeah.
Man, shout out to all of those people, man. Wonderful, man. James, wonderful people over there, man. They're absolute gems, man. Shout out to everyone at the OneRing.net. Wonderful guys, man.
Here's my list of mutuals. Oddly enough, Kali, you're first on my list of DMs because you're the latest person to
right,
DM
of
me.
course. Yeah.
Anna, my LSR, who makes all of the Lord of the Rings edits. If you don't recognize the "I would have followed you to the very fires of Mordor, there will come a soldier," that's my LSR. That's Anna, and she's wonderful. Who else is there? Silmer Emily, we mentioned. Mary Clay Watt from That's What I'm Talking About podcast.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's my nemesis right there.
Your nemesis?
That's my arch nemesis. That's my arch nemesis.
Do you have beef with Mary Clay Watt?
That's my arch nemesis. Like it's like a friendly beef that we have.
Like, where did this come from? Where is this?
She hates the Silmarillion.
Yeah, of course she does. She had to read it, and then
I love the Silmarillion. Yeah. I've been on her podcast twice, and we just go.
He taught a whole class on the Silmarillion.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh. By the way, let me plug that in, guys.
Yeah.
If you would like to join my class in June, I will be teaching at Signum University the realm of Arnor, the lost realm of Arnor. So anybody who doesn't know anything about Arnor is currently where literally the hobbits live at. You don't know it was a forgotten kingdom, a lost kingdom destroyed by the Witch King of Angmar. All of the Northern Kingdom lore of where Aragorn's people come from in Middle Earth. Elendil's kingdom, the sister kingdom to Gondor in the north, Arnor. I will be teaching a class in June. Please sign up. Signum University will have the class available very soon. Sign up for it. My other classes were amazing. Kali is literally my proctor. She literally is in there.
Hey,
it's awesome.
You know what?
It's so fun.
Same energy here, New. You've got like the TA proctor and like college professor vibe going on. This is it's like you keep New organized and in line, and make sure the podcast runs smoothly and get to be part of the pod. And whereas New is just like, yes, I will now go on a 30-minute ramble about how this elf is actually the most powerful.
That is exactly how we do. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. This is amazing. Okay, I'm going through literally all of my mutuals, and we've mentioned most of them. So if we've missed you, I am so sorry. My TikTok has failed me yet again in not bringing them up fast enough. Thank you for having me. This has been lovely. This has just been fantastic. Sorry, I assumed we were wrapping up. You said as we were ending, and I'm just kind of taking over the podcast, ending it. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, man. Shout out to the list, man. It's been a pleasure, man, and an honor, man.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for having me. And Kali, send me that clip so I can give you all a shout out, because TolkienTok has to stay strong, because there's been a severe lack of content since Rings of Power ended, and I feel like maybe second extended edition was just like maybe a little small blip in an otherwise barren wasteland until Magic the Gathering comes out, and then Rings of Power season 2, and then there's what's that animated movie? What's up?
Gollum game.
The Gollum game is coming out.
Right, the Gollum game.
I saw the trailer. I absolutely loved it. We got the Mines of Moria coming out, and we got War of the Rohirrim coming out. So we have things that are popping up, and they announced Lord of the Rings Lego. Like they announced that. So
wait, hang on. I'm so sorry to do this. When you say they announced the Lord of the Rings Lego, do you mean the article on the OneRing.net?
Wait, is that another joke?
It's an April Fool's joke.
Another one? This is the second one I fell for.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. No, because I fell for it too. I fell for it too, man.
I didn't post a video about that.
I almost did. And then I went down to the spoiler alert. If you were really excited about it, I went down. Thankfully, I saw it before like 15 people sent it to me. I scrolled down to the tags, and it went Warner Brothers, LOTR, April Fools. I'm like, they wouldn't be this cruel, would they?
They're cruel, bro. I did a video about Orpha being Orlando Bloom being Orpha.
You know what, though? You know what, though? If second extended edition doesn't work out, maybe this is our new. Maybe we take that April Fool's joke and we turn it into a reality.
I think they owe me now for that, man.
Yeah. And look, get all of the
original. Dude, that was April. I was like, I trust the One Ring. I didn't go all the way to the bottom. I was like, I know about Orpha. If Orlando Bloom's gonna be Orpha, I don't need to read this whole thing. Let me just go ahead and give some sequence on Orpha.
It's new. As a former journalist, I can't encourage you and your audience enough. You gotta read the full article, man. You gotta read the full article.
Do your Googles.
If you take nothing else from this podcast, listener, please read the full article.
Look, that's twice they got me, man. There's some serious payback coming for you guys. There's some serious payback coming for you guys.
Oh boy.
Oh no. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Here we go. Okay.
Well, guys, I'm gonna get out of here because I gotta go back to my regular life. But it has been an honor and a pleasure and a hell of a fun time having the one, the only Don Marshall, 72 on our podcast. Everybody give him a round of applause.
Thank you very much. It has been a pleasure being here. You both run a wonderful podcast, and by both of you, I mostly mean Kali, but that's just to be expected. New, I know you feel the same.
100%.
I know you feel the same. Thank you both for having me. This has been absolutely delightful. Thank you so much.
All right, guys, we are going to get out of here. Thank you for joining us for this week's episode of Voices of Arda, and we'll be back with another great podcast very soon coming at you. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.